All right. Well, hey there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Democracy Divas. This Democracy Divas, what we're hoping to do is just equip different Allen County residents just to know the plan and what's going on in Indiana, as well as ways to make your voice heard to be able to give feedback to the Allen County Election Board. Vote centers, they're being proposed across the state of Indiana, but for Allen County specifically, the current proposal for the 2026 election is going to change it from 110 locations to 39 election day locations. And the current proposal, it also increases early voting locations. So in the 2024 election, we had 5 early vote locations, but now they're increasing it to 7. 2 public hearings are required for vote centers in Indiana. So, like I mentioned, the first was August 15th, and the second one will be September 15th. And that will be the final meeting to be able to give testimony. As of now, they may add more, they may not, but that's the final time to give an oral testimony. And then, of course, the Allen County Election Board is strongly encouraging people to uh, write to them and give feedback by August 29th to incorporate notes. And just to zoom out to what vote centers allow anyone in the county to be able to cast their ballot at any location of their choice on election day. And it typically reduces the risk of voters being unable to vote due to arriving at the wrong voting location. Us at Count Us In, we've seen that quite a bit through our election defender program. Sometimes when certain locations change over the years, or if some are consolidated, it can cause a lot of confusion to voters. A lot of times voters, will try to vote, want to be able to vote near their job and can't, so they have to weave through traffic to try to get closer to home at that location. So vote centers really try to alleviate that, and it's the alternative model to precinct-based voting, which is what Allen County currently operates off of. And that's where voters are assigned to a specific vote location where they reside. And vote centers started in Indiana, in different counties starting in 2011. So the model has actually existed in other counties for a while. And now, as of August 2025, 73% of counties actually operate through the vote center model that's being proposed in Allen County right now. So that's 67 out of the 92 counties. When vote centers, but there are some concerns. So vote centers themselves aren't inherently good or bad. A lot of nonpartisan groups say it's just about how you execute it and what community input there is to make sure that it's equitable. So some data shows from the 2016 election that in comparison to entirely white neighborhoods, residents of Black neighborhoods can typically wait 29% longer to vote, and 74% were more likely to spend 30 more minutes to vote at their location. Research also shows that sometimes when you switch models, it can cause some confusion for elder voters, or just working class voters who don't keep up with every detailed change. So there are some very important reasons to be able to navigate this carefully. And I actually will share a toolkit along, like, for this Democracy Diva session and for the recording, so that you all could take a look at the current proposed map and have access to the links by the Allen County Election Board. And the map will show essentially what locations are proposed versus what locations we had during the 2024 election. And finally, I'll just wrap up this quick intro of who's making these decisions. So, like, who chooses where the locations are? The election board, the Allen County Election Board, has to vote unanimously for these type of proposals to pass, and that's typically consists of one Republican appointed board member, one Democrat appointed board member, and one clerk. And the clerk is automatically appointed, and they serve as a secretary. Christopher Ned-Carroll is the clerk for Allen County Circuit Court. Sarah Brewer is the Democratic member, and Daniel Kensinger is the Republican member currently. Other things that go into factoring for these plans are study committees. Unfortunately, the board is not willing to share who is on the study committee specifically as volunteers. However, we do know that three of those members are Democrats, three are Republicans, one is Libertarian, and one serves as a mediator. And finally, just before we get into discussion, how this compares to other vote centers. Compared to other vote centers, you can see that typically vote centers proposals in Indiana at large, a lot of counties propose over the amount needed required by Indiana law, which is also linked in this toolkit as well. But most centers in Indiana, they exceed the Indiana law requirements and they publish public reports of, who is in these committees, how a more detailed description of how they came to that conclusion. And you can see from this chart here, for example, Allen County is actually the second biggest county of registered voters typically, and Marion County is a bit more similar to us as well, where they have a larger registered voter base. In the 2024 plan, they actually had 186 vote centers proposed when their minimum required was only 55. So they were 131 locations above the minimum. They actually started in prior years with 277 centers, actually. So although it is a little bit more challenging to reduce the number of centers, most counties like those listed in this chart here, like Tipton, Brown, Knox, etc., they have started well over what was needed. So that is a consideration that a lot of the community members have uplifted as well, that we're starting at a pretty low number. So one thing that has been made clear from the Allen County Election Board meeting is it seems that they are willing to consider adding more locations. So when making your voice heard, I think it's very important that community members, share if they feel more should be added, and if so, where. I think is very valuable feedback. We will have our toolkit online and on social media. So if you weren't able to come, you can take action. And for next action steps, again, if you're a community member in Allen County, please submit your public comments by the deadline, August 29th, to electionboard@allencounty.us. You can attend the next Vote Center board meeting on September 15th. That goes from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., like I mentioned, and it's at Citizen Square. The address is 200 East Berry Street, Garden Level 030 at Fort Wayne, Indiana. And for those of you who are outside of Allen County, I have up here just sharing that there is an Indiana Secretary of State Vote Center listening tour, so that you can inform your friends and neighbors that are in Indianapolis that there's one taking place on September 3rd and one in Jeffersonville September 19th. Our comrades at the in the Indiana Deaf community are having an Indiana School of the Deaf Community Action Night, and that is tomorrow, August 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's at the Greater Indianapolis Deaf Club or online. So please tune into that or attend to support in solidarity. And then finally, there are a lot of calls to actions by nonpartisan groups about redistricting. There's a rally against redistricting on August 26th, this upcoming Tuesday in Indianapolis at the Indiana State House at 5:30 p.m. And that address is 200 West Washington Street in Indy. And we're sharing a link where you can RSVP for that. Or if you can't attend or you are attending and you want to learn more and take action, we also are sharing Common Cause Indiana's petition. So with that, thank you all so much again for attending our Democracy Divas, and I hope you have a good Sunday.